Hello. So if you are joining me, if you could share this video. Um, this is my Monday to Friday 9 p.m. live show I do here on Facebook, which is titled Let's Talk Assisted Living. If you click the hashtag, you could catch some of the ones that I did before. But today I will be sharing with you some of the things that you should have on your checklist. Some of the things that you should check off your checklist when you're trying to start an assisted living. So first of all, like I mentioned in the other video, first you need to understand the business. Okay, understand why you want to start the business, understand the population you want to serve, and understand where they are, and kind of get involved with communities that serve them already. If you have all these things already mapped out, then the number one thing that you need to do is to find out the exact location where you want to start this business. So find out the city where you want to start this business, and find out the county where you want to start this business. Okay. So when you have all those ones already set up and you know that, then it's time for you to find a building. If you are not using your home and you want to buy a new building, or you just want to rent a home, you can do that. Okay, but you cannot skip the step of doing your research and find out, because actually seniors want to live in their neighborhood. Okay, they like to live in their neighborhood, so you want to make sure that you finding a facility that is in the neighborhood that seniors are already living in. Okay, so that's where the research comes in. You do your research, then you find out where does the seniors like to live, where are they living already, and then you might want to open your facility around the place where they are living already, because they already like to live in their own environment. Okay, so after you've done your research and you found out what area that the seniors are and what area that you want to open your facility, the next thing you need to do is to find out exactly to go online and look for properties in that area. If you're not using your home, of course, if you're using your home, you have to jump into the licensing process. So find out properties that are on sale in that area. I will suggest that you look into foreclosed properties, because they really a better option for you, because you can get them and just fix them to your taste or to the requirement. So it gives you more flexibility on some of the things that you can do on it. And then of course, if you want to rent, that is the time to begin to rent. But before you process with this, you have to bear in mind, how many beds do you want to have? How many rooms do you want to have? Because you cannot have more than 3 people in a room. Okay, so it has to be two in a room. And for one room, the size of the room has to be like the size of the room is a minimum of 80 square feet for one person. Okay, 80 square feet for one person, and for 2 people is 140 square feet. So if you want to have four people in the house, so you might have like 4 rooms that have 80 square feet room each, or you can have maybe 3 rooms in that house, and at least one of the rooms has 140 square feet. Okay, so those are the measurements of the room, but you cannot have 3 people in one room. It has to be either 2 people or one person in a room, and the room has to be 80 square feet. And if you want to have 2 people in the room has to be at least 140 square feet. Okay, and this can be different depending on the state as well. So I want you might have to do a little bit more research to find out how many people you can have in a room depending on your state. So if you know how many people you want to serve, you want to have 4 residents, if you want to have 8 residents, if you want to have 10 residents, all this will determine how much house you want to get. Okay, so after you get your house, after you started the process of you getting your house, you have to also know that you have that address is needed for you to put your application in. So you need the address of the house to put in the application for your licensing. So you cannot say, oh, I'm going to go ahead and start my licensing process before getting the house. You actually need the house, so you can use the address of the house to put in your licensing application. Okay, the application you're making for your licensing, you need the address of the house to put on that application. Okay, so after you have already secured your house, or you already have a plan on how to secure your house, the next thing is to actually register a business name. If you don't have a business name already, or you already have a business and you just want to add the assisted living component into the business, so you can have a business already, a business name already, and you can have the assisted living attached to the business. Maybe you have a home health agency and you just want to branch off and have an assisted living, so then you can just register a trade name as one of the things that your company does. So after you've secured your home, after you've done your research, and you've done your survey, and then you've reviewed the statistics, and you make sure that the area is an area that you can succeed in the business. The next thing is to find a home that you want to use. If you're using your home, or you want to rent, if you're not renting, then you want to buy. After you've gone through that process, then the next step is for you to actually make sure that you have a business name already registered. Okay, so after you've registered the business name, you need to make sure that the business name you registered is something that is going to help you stand out in the among the competition. So I always tell people, when you're registering a business name, make sure that the name falls between A and E. Okay, so these are one of the things that we teach in our assisted living online course. You make sure that the name you registered, it falls between A and E, because when they list the assisted living, the list of assisted living, they usually list it in like a bulletin board or somewhere with the county. They usually have them listed alphabetically, or in alphabetical order. So they list the ones that started with A, and the B's and the C's. So you don't want to have your name all the way down in the middle, because if you have your way all the way down in the middle, there is no way that the people that are looking for facility, there is no way they can make calls and then they cannot find one. So they must find at least one facility that they can use before they get to you. So you want to give yourself a really, really good shot by being up there in the alphabet. Okay, but if you already chose a name and it's something that you're already using for your business, that's okay. Don't worry too much about it. So after you chose your name, then that's the time you have to register it. You have to make sure you're securing your domain name attached to that name that you already chose. And then you've registered the business. You doing an LLC, or you are doing an Inc. Whatever you've decided to do, it's time for you to start your application process. So now you have an address you can use. Now you have a business name you can use. It's time for you to actually start the application process and fill out all those information in the application. Also, most of the time, the county wants to make sure that you are putting in evidence that shows that you are the owner of the property, either the owner of the property, or you are legal, or you are legally in the possession of the property. For example, if you're renting it, they want something that's a lease that say, oh yeah, you are leasing this property. If you're not leasing it, you're buying it. They want at least a deed or something that says that you own the property. Sometimes they might accept like a tax record or something that, a receipt that you used to pay your taxes. Okay, so they might accept that as proof that the property is in your possession and you're legally allowed to use that property for that business. So after you start your licensing, your application process and things like that, this is the time that you want to find out what training do you need to go with your application. Some states want you to do some trainings. They want you to submit your criminal history with the application, and some counties want you to submit proof of insurance, like the workers' compensation insurance with the application. But if you are going to be working for yourself, you can always request for exemption. Like in the state of Maryland, even if you are already incorporated and you don't have an employee, you can request certificate of exemption, and then you can send that certificate with your application. So after you've sent most of the things that they want in the application, then it's time for you to start making sure that your facility is getting ready. But mind you, there are some trainings that are not due until they're coming out for inspection. Okay, so those trainings are the trainings that you need to wait to do. Do not do them early, because some of them expire within 2 years, some of them expire within 1 year. So if you do them too early, what's going to happen is that by the time you finish the whole process, it's time for them to come and license you. Your training has expired. I've said this a couple of times in my other videos. So you wait on that, and then you send in your your application. So just like I said, you have to make sure of how many rooms you want, how many beds you want, and you cannot have more than 3 people in a room. And one of the rooms has to be, if you're having one person in a room, the room has to be at least 80 square feet. If you're having 2 people, it has to be at least 140 square feet. Okay, that is what most states require. And also, you have to know that if a room does not have a window, it cannot be counted as a room. The room has to have a standard window. Okay, it has to have a standard window. So if it does not have a standard window, that cannot be considered a room. So I want you to bear that in mind. Also, you have to make sure that the room has enough bathrooms for the individuals. So have that in mind. Depending on the number of people you're going to be having, the room has enough bathroom to serve everybody. Okay. So those are the things that you'll be looking into, just like the initial stage, before you for you to start the process of licensing. So after you send in the application, then there is a whole lot different things that are really, really easy, that that you can have someone kind of walk you through the process depending on your state, to begin the licensing process. But the first thing is just getting that house. As soon as you get that house, as soon as you know how many people you want and you get that house, everything else will become like really, really smooth. I think I mentioned in my other video to do your research. Okay, make sure that the house you're getting, check the homeowners association, check the zoning, to make sure that they are all approved, that area is approved to use for an assisted living. Okay, so like I was mentioning in my other video, so those are some of the things that you need to be checking into, and I'll be discussing more of the things because it's not something I can finish tonight. So I said you have to understand the business, you have to understand your why, you have to research and evaluate the location and the property, you have to understand the population, and then of course you have to actually proceed to register the business name and to to start the licensing process. Okay, so that's a few things that I wanted to share today. And I have a new book coming out, and if there's anything that you really want to see in that book, if you can, I'll be posting something for people to share their opinion, and just kind of give me some quick details of things that they might want to see in the book, and I would really appreciate it. But I want to thank you for joining, and if you're catching the replay, I want to thank you. And also, if you could share this video, and tomorrow I will see you here by 9 p.m. Okay, so this is Jen NK, and this is your assisted living coach and your assisted living expert. I do want to invite you for a conference that we have coming up here in Maryland on February 7th. It will be an amazing time that you're going to be learning from people that are already in the industry, and we are going to be sharing 4 different ways you can make money with the baby boomers generation. There are 4 different opportunities that are out there. Even if you don't want to do the assisted living full time, or if you don't want to just run the assisted living business, there are so many other ways that are, you can benefit from running business in this industry. And I suggest that you take advantage of this opportunity. The baby boomers, 10,000 of them turned 65 today, so they are in need of our service. And if you're ready to serve, you can grow. Okay, so you can love, you can serve, and you can grow. So I appreciate you for watching my video, and if you like it, please share. And also, I can see you here tomorrow by 9 p.m. Have a good night.